Hello, it's Liz here. I have a new tutorial to share with you, so let's just jump right in. I'll be using the stamp set Enchanted Butterfly. This is in the annual catalog, and it also can be found online, of course. And then I'll just be using the words from Color and Contour. So I'm not using the whole stamp set, just grabbed a set of a stamp with words on it from this set, okay? The colors that I'll be using today are Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, and Berry Burst. All right, let's just start with the cardstock then. I have a Crushed Curry cardstock and Berry Burst cardstock and some white. Okay. The Crushed Curry is just an 8.5 by 11 cut in half. This is going to be the base. I've already scored it. So let's go ahead and fold that in half and press that down with our bone folder. All right, so that's the base. I'm just going to set that aside for now. The next layer is Berry Burst. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. 5 1/4 by 4. All right, I'm going to put that one there for now. And then I have a white piece of cardstock, and this is 3 by 5. And we'll be cutting it down, but I'll get to that in a minute. So this is a 3 by 5. And then this is just a random piece of white cardstock that we'll be stamping the words on and punching. So the size doesn't really matter, and it's going to depend on what label punch you're using anyway. So that's just an extra piece for the label. So let's get started with our stamping. I'm going to pull in a scratch piece of paper for the moment, just because it gets a little bit messy. This one I already used, so let's go ahead and just use this anyway, okay? And I'm going to lay this down. Let's open up our ink pads. Remember, Crushed Curry, Berry Burst, and Calypso Coral. Okay, so I'm going to be pulling out, or I pulled out this flower stamp. Now, typically the smooth side is what we put down on the block, and then we stamp with the other side, of course. What I'm going to be doing with this one is I'm going to be taking the side we would normally stamp on, and that is going down against the block so that this side right here is smooth. This is like the underside, the back side is all smooth. All right, so I'm going to put that into Crushed Curry. And I want to stamp off. And then I'm going to stamp that on here. Okay. I'm going to clean this in my cleaning pad. Make sure I have all excess off of there. Now I'm going to take this and flip it over. Pull it off. Flip it over to the side you would normally stamp with. And I'm putting that in the Crushed Curry, not stamping off. And because it's photopolymer, I can see right through it. And I'm going to stamp that right on top. And look at that. Okay, so let me clean that off. And I'm going to do the same thing with the Calypso Coral. I'm flipping it over so that it's the wrong side is up. I'm going to ink that, stamp it off. And let's put this down here. Okay. Clean that off. Oops, sorry, shaking my camera a little bit. We're going to flip this over. And we're going to stamp full force, not stamping off. Press down in the center and pull back up. And there we go. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? All right, so you got yourself a background. All right. I'm going to pull this off for the moment. Now we're going to do the same thing with the butterfly, but I want it to look like the butterfly is behind. So what I did is I took a Post-it note and just stamped. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be good stamping. You just stamp down whatever, just to get the shape. Okay, all you're looking for is the shape. Pull this off of here, grab a scissors, and just trim around. And you don't even have to trim the whole thing, but but you want to do maybe like 3 petals or so. You're going to trim around this flower. And if you kind of can get your stamped image on the sticky part, that will be helpful. I already did some of them ahead of time. And you want to undercut a little bit. You don't want to leave any extra trim around it. You want to cut right up against the flower or even just a little bit under. So now this is what I have. I already cut these out. And I'm going to take this and just lay this down on top. And I have another one here. And we're going to lay this on top. We're making a mask. So we're going to cover up. Okay, so this is what we have now. And now I'm going to take the butterfly one and the same thing. I want to do the wrong side. Flip that over so it's the smooth side is what's on here. And I'm putting this in the berry burst. I'm going to stamp off. And I'm going to stamp this up here. Okay. And let's see, should I do one more maybe in here? Let's do one more in here before I get rid of this. We'll put one in there. Okay. And I'm going to do one more right along here. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to clean that off. Flip this over and do the other side. Let's get this right on top. There we go. And if you notice on here, there's a little bit of area sticking out. Don't worry about that. It's always so exactly perfect. You're going to get it lined up pretty decently because it's photopolymer. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to do another crushed curry flower down here. So I did the same thing. I stamped a butterfly on a Post-it note and then cut that out. And I just cut out the bottom part because I just don't really need the top part, and that way I can hold on to that. So I'm going to take this now and put that over top of the butterfly. Lay that down. And I'm going to do one more crushed curry flower here. Okay. Let's stamp that off. And we'll put that over here. Okay. And we'll flip this over to what would be considered like the right side. And it's a little tricky because I only did part of the flower. And there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to pull these pieces up. All right, so this is what you have at this point. Now, if you happen to get sections where like, oh, I don't know that I like that it's white in there and there's a little bit of white is showing in there, let me show you how you can touch that up. Grab a blender pen. Okay, and I'm going to take one end, I'm putting into the crushed curry ink pad, and then I'm going to dot. Don't try and color it in, just dot it in. I'm just dotting in that space. Okay, and you can do the same. This one looks more like it's the berry burst. That there's a little white space, so let's get a little berry burst. I'm going to get a little berry burst and just dot. Just dot in that space there. And that will fill in the white space. Just kind of dotting it. And then once you're looking at the whole card, you're not even going to notice that. Okay, so there we go. We'll get rid of this, and then these blender pens, you can just color till the color disappears, and then you can just use it on another color. Okay, All right. Now put that aside for the moment. I'm going to stamp my words. So the words I have is so very happy for you. Maybe this made me think of my daughter, honestly. I was kind of looking through words that I wanted to put on this card. And for those of you who may not know, and depending on when you're watching this video, my first grandson was born yesterday. So yay, I had to put that in there a little bit. I'm going to use crushed curry, and I am just super happy for my daughter and my son-in-law. So let's stamp this right here. Okay, so very happy for you. And I use the lasting label is the punch for that shape there. All right. So we have that piece, that piece. All right, now let me close these up so we don't end up with an ink catastrophe. I'll get rid of those. All right, and what I did with this, I'm going to pull in my trimmer. And I'm going to be trimming at 3/4 inches. Okay, there's 3/4. Keep them in order. So there's 3/4 again. And 3/4. There we go. We're going to keep those in order there. We'll get this trimmer out of here. And now I'm going to start working on this one. Let's get this out. This is kind of ugly paper. We're going to get that out of there and put these pieces on. Okay, so you want to line them up first again before you adhere them so that you get a general idea. I always start with my outside pieces. Then you want to go inside. But you don't want to end up with like big space some places and real narrow somewhere else. So kind of do your layout first of what would be good spacing. And then when you think you're pretty good with that, grab your adhesive. And remember, I always tell you, don't press it down hard until you're done and you really like where that's placed. All right, set that one down. Let's do this one. How many of you are working on Christmas cards now? I know I have some of mine made, not all of them. I'm not fully ready to do Christmas things, except that Christmas cards take a little while to create. So I am working on some Christmas cards, but I do need to work on those a bit more yet. But since I'm doing a bunch of those and kind of pulling out all my Christmas stamp sets, I wanted to do something a little bit non-Christmas for this video. So today you're getting butterflies and flowers. Give you a little bit of a warm feeling. And I think happy fun cards can be used all year round, not just spring and summer. So there we go. And I think I'm pretty happy with that layout. Oh, this one looks like it's not quite. I'm going to pull this one up. It looks like it's down a little further than the other 3 pieces. So let's pull that up. All right, I think that's better. Okay, now we're going to press that down. Let's put some adhesive on the back here. And we'll attach this to our card base. There we go. And this is the label we're going to put on. Let's grab some dimensionals. We'll pop those on here. We'll put that right, let's see, where do I want to put it? Maybe I don't want to cover up the entire flower. Let's put it right there. That's good. And we have these awesome butterfly brass, say this quickly, brushed brass butterflies. Brushed brass butterflies. That's a mouthful. These are great embellishments because they're flat. They're shiny. They give a little shine, but they're flat. So it won't add any extra when you're mailing. And these can be found on my website also, but they are self-adhesive, which is great. So I'm going to take those and stick those. You can have a couple different sizes of butterflies on here. Put that in there. These are great if you happen to make like a little smudge on your card. You got a little ink where you didn't want it to be. Grab one of these butterflies and put it over top of it. So there you go. This is the card for today. Hope you enjoy this. If you have any questions, you can always shoot me a message, comment down below, message. Just remember that every Wednesday I do send out a newsletter with some updates of classes and specials and things going on. So if you would like to receive that newsletter in your email, let me know that also, and I would be glad to add you to that. So that's it for today. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed. Talk with you later. Bye-bye.